Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live pop-up chat. Oh my goodness, I just popped on because literally about 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago, I learned that Elton John has just taken to Twitter in a series of tweets defending, sticking up for, pushing back, all in aid of the Duke and Duchess of Sussexes, Harry and Meghan's treatment by the British press. Let me just make sure my tiara isn't wonky. And also, I want to talk as well about Buckingham Palace releasing an official statement regarding Prince Andrew and all of the allegations which are going on in the media right now. So everything is going on. I want to know what you guys all think about Elton John, about the series of tweets that he posted. I have made a separate video about that, showing the tweets and also talking about carbon offsetting and what that means, because he did mention carbon footprint trademark in his tweets. So I went online and delved deeper into what carbon footprint trademark is, and it is a program of offsetting carbon. So it makes the flight, in effect, carbon neutral. I just thought Elton John was wonderful to do this. So I'm going to give Elton, my man, I'm going to give you a big fan flap because it needed doing. It really did. And to come from somebody who knows all the ins and outs about it, you know, he obviously has known that he invited them to come to his villa. Now, oh, by the way, I was going to talk about this anyway. As soon as it was revealed that they went to France and it was likely to be Elton's villa, I thought, oh, I bet when they met at the Lion King premiere, I bet that's when he asked them to come and stay at his villa. So yes, it was a very cost-effective holiday. It was free basically. It was free for Harry and Meghan. They didn't have to pay for accommodation. They didn't have to pay for the flights, and on top of that, the flights were carbon offset as well. So the flights had no impact whatsoever on the environment, because the money that's given, you can calculate what your carbon footprint will be for a particular flight or an office or whatever it might be, and then you put that money that it costs into other projects which offset the carbon. So basically, all this talk about lots of holidays, all these flights, it was carbon neutral. It turned out it was carbon neutral after all. All the press bashing about being an eco warrior, a Dumbo. I've heard lots of different things. What was it? Eco enthusiasts, eco lecturers, all the rest of it was just a complete load of nonsense. And Elton John hit out about it all. Now I want to go and see what you're all saying, because I'm sure I can see lots of messages whizzing up. By the way, if I'm looking a bit dark, it's because I'm going live at 8:05 here in the UK. So the light from the window isn't particularly bright. So if I'm looking a little bit dark, that's why. Right. Going up, Patricia says all planes emit carbon, automobiles emit carbon, everything does. I mean, it's true. How did they expect them to get there? And by the way, I was thinking about this. So let's just say they took a commercial flight, a scheduled commercial flight with everyone else. One, it wouldn't protect them, because obviously, you know, a Duke and Duchess and an Archie turn up on a plane and sit with everyone else in what we call cattle class. It's not going to cut it, is it? In terms of protection, it would never fly. And then I thought, well, what if they rented out, for example, the entire section of business class, which is usually the section at the front? And I thought, well, if you had to book out all of those seats, not only would it cost more than the rumoured £20,000 it would cost per flight, but also you wouldn't be able to offset any carbon. It would make the carbon footprint even worse, because you're only flying for like 3 people in a compartment that could probably take about 30 people. So that wouldn't be particularly good either. So private jet probably is the most cost effective and carbon neutral way of travelling. So I think they kind of got it right. And yeah, how do they expect them to go to these places? You know, do they want them to just be sort of beamed in? I don't know. But it is a little bit silly. Let me just go up slightly, because I think I've missed tons of of comments. Yeah, hello to everyone. Sorry, I don't have time to literally read all the hellos, but hello to everyone, and I appreciate you joining me today. Kelly Dugas says, Elton John is awesome. He's looking out for the boys and their families for Diana. He is indeed. Colleen says, thank God for Elton John. Mrs. VSN, I love Elton John's tweets and Instagram comments. Louisa says, thought Elton John's response was magnificent. It was indeed. And everyone's actually saying how much they appreciate Elton John's comments. Dion says, I'm so glad Sir Elton defended them. Nobody else would. Trinette says, I'm so happy Sir Elton spoke up. This is amazing. Elaine says, hi everyone from me here in the UK. I am pleased to see Sir Elton John speaking out against the UK media. Cynthia says, I'm so annoyed with Buckingham Palace and I seriously hope Emily Andrews isn't going to cover their upcoming tour. Maggie says, well done, Sir Elton. Yeah, everyone's pretty much saying the same kind of thing. I think everyone's really appreciative that Elton John spoke out. Yes, he is totally defending them. Maria says that garbage press is carrying on a personality assassination on the persons of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Indeed. Yeah, we do all emit carbon. Robin says, we think alike. It's the first thing that came to my mind when I read the statement. True. Jerry says, it's a ridiculous critique. They're royal. They do and should travel privately. It's definitely it's the safest, and I do think it is the most cost effective. Even though they didn't pay for this flight, it's still the most cost effective and carbon neutral. Dolly respects Elton John. He's not easily... he's been along long enough. He's a queen himself. He knows the camera. He knows the game. Yes, no, he's been around. He knows. He's not going to be intimidated. Ooh, am I wonky? He's not going to be intimidated by anything. So I hope Elton is watching, in fact. Elton, I love you. And yes, bravo. What an amazing performance. It might be the best performance you've ever made. And that's saying something. I want to go to the tweets themselves and read them again, because I've read them from my video that I made separately, and I show them, but I want to read them again. So, Elton actually said, I am deeply distressed by today's distorted and malicious accounts in the press surrounding the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's private stay at my home in Nice last week. Prince Harry's mother, Diana, Princess of Wales, was one of my dearest friends. I feel a profound sense of obligation to protect Harry and his family from the unnecessary press intrusion that contributed to Diana's untimely death. After a hectic year continuing their hard work and dedication to charity, David and I wanted the young family to have a private holiday, inside the safety and tranquility of our home. To maintain a high level of much needed protection, we provided them with a private jet flight. To support Prince Harry's commitment to the environment, we ensured their flight was carbon neutral by making the appropriate contribution to Carbon Footprint trademark. And I do believe that's the same carbonfootprint.com that I mentioned in my video. I highly respect and applaud both Harry and Meghan's commitment to charity, and I'm calling on the press to cease their relentless and untrue assassinations on their character that are spuriously crafted on an almost daily basis. Elton. And I did also obviously look up exactly what the dictionary definition of spuriously is. And it basically does mean untrue, unfounded, not proved, all those kind of words that you would associate with basically fake news. So yes, Elton John most definitely has pushed back. And I hope, Elton, I read out your words in a way that you'd want them read out. I really do. Let's see what people are saying. Jill Beck says, bless Elton John and David. Indeed. Indeed, indeed. Anthony says, thank you, Elton, to having to put the whole issue on its true basis. Yes, well, he's certain... I mean, okay, he may have felt also a little bit of a sense of responsibility because, obviously, he provided them with the flight. So he offered them the holiday. He offered them the private jet, even though it was carbon neutral. So he may have felt a little sense of responsibility for it. So I think also he spoke out, because he felt maybe it was his doing that they've got all this feedback against them. So I think he did feel like he needed to push back and just set the record completely straight. Alicia says, I can just predict the next headline. Harry and Meghan being selfish by using a carbon neutral plane and not giving the other planes a chance. Oh, I'm sure they will come up with something. I really, really am sure they will. Auntie D says Sir Elton John is shutting down the foolishness. He is indeed. Tonya says Elton John spoke for all of us. A big thank you to him. He did indeed. Oh, by the way, I think my cold has gone. I think it was hay fever. I took some anti-allergy tablets. Wendy says, I went to the Daily Mail to see if they had the guts to print Sir Elton's letter, and they did at least part of it. Thank you, Sir Elton. Well, it is news. It would be very obvious if they didn't publish it, I think. Yes, it is the most safest mode of transportation for them. Jackie J says, I loved your video. Not only did you report what happened, you also explained terminology that others might not have heard of. Well, yeah, spuriously was a word that I knew it was connected with negative and fake, but I wanted a proper dictionary definition of what it was, so I did put that in, because I thought it was a lovely word to use. A little bit like when Madonna called Lady Gaga reductive. Let's go down all the way to the bottom. Carolyn, hello, you've just got home. Barbara says, so very glad to hear this. Love, love, love Sir Elton. Totally. Yes, Molly's in the background. She's pleased with Elton John. Right, now, because it's getting late, I need to go and get my food, my dinner, my tea soon. So I want to read out the other story that I was talking about today, which is, of course, Prince Andrew. Now, we all know what's been going on in the media with Prince Andrew, and I can assure people it has been making the headlines here in the UK, especially after the video footage was released, and that has kind of prompted Buckingham Palace to make a response. Now, I was thinking about this earlier. Why have Buckingham Palace released a press statement for Andrew over this, and they haven't kind of done what Elton John's done and pushed back against the lies and the vitriol that the British press are putting out against Harry and Meghan? And I think the answer is simple. It's all to do with red lines, and I think I've spoke about red lines before. Harry and Meghan put out a red line in terms of press intrusion when they put photographs into their home in the Cotswolds. William and Catherine put out red lines when there was the photographs of Catherine. You know the ones I'm talking about. That was a red line. And I think for Buckingham Palace, this is a red line when it comes to accusations of criminality. And I think that's what the difference is. Andrew is being accused without charge or proof or conviction. And I think that's hit a red line. So I think that's why we've got the statement. I mean, as far as I'm aware, the press haven't gone as far as accusing Meghan or Harry of doing anything illegal, whereas there has been lots of allegations about Prince Andrew doing something that is illegal, without charge, without proof, without trial, without conviction. So I think that's why we've hit the red line. So the statement reads, the Duke of York has been appalled by the recent reports of Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes. His Royal Highness deplores the exploitation of any human being and the suggestion he would condone, participate in, or encourage any such behaviour is abhorrent. It's a very short message. For some people, it's left more questions to be answered than what it's answered. But nevertheless, it is a response. It is the first time that he has spoken out publicly about this. And I suppose my own personal feelings on this are that he needs to get lawyers, proper legal people that look at international law, and it should always be where the truth will out. And if there are, with the whole of this story, I've said this before, I'll say it again, if there are any charge, if there is any evidence for any charges to be brought, anything like that, it should of course happen. Anybody should face the full force of the law if they have done something wrong. So that is paramount. And by the way, there have been examples in the past where children of a monarch have gone up in front of the law courts for their wrongdoing. So, hey, if there is anything, it could happen. But I just wanted to read out that statement because obviously that is something that has actually happened. It's true. He has released a statement. Those are the words. So I just thought I would make that comment here today. And I do welcome your thoughts and opinions and views on the matter. Carol Lang says this is old news and he was cleared last time, nothing came of it, but the media cashed in. Like I said, if there is anything to come of it, it should come, and that's what we're obviously waiting on. Let's go up and see what people are saying. Bad says it's sad that anyone had to come out because of the so-called new don't know. Oh, yes, entirely. I guess says, did anyone see what the Sun is saying about Lord Mountbatten? Yes, there is a new book, and a lot of the stuff is coming out of the new book, but it's a little bit obscure news because we don't know how old the people were that he was said to be having a thing with. I don't think. I haven't read the book, so I'm not entirely sure on that one. Ashan says the attacks on Harry and Meghan have been malicious, wicked and outright liars, yet the palace chooses whom to defend. Like I say, I think it's all about red lines, and the red line here is an issue of criminality. Right, now I'm going to have to go because it is time for my tea here in the UK. It is 8:20 p.m. I hope we've had a really good catch up. I know it's a little bit shorter than normal, but it is literally because I need to go and eat. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also hit the notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. And also go and tweet Elton John and say thank you. So from me in Shropshire, mwah, to you all, and goodbye.